So my name is Francis Mangeni. I work with the African Continental Free Trade Area in the Office of the Secretary General as an advisor there.
Okay, maybe you can explain what the AFCFTA is and its significance.
So the AFCFTA is an organization, a continent organization, which is made up of 55 countries, all the 55 countries of Africa. Though the name says African Continental Free Trade Area, it's much more than a free trade area. A free trade area normally deals with removal of trade barriers to trade in goods. So the AFCFTA does that, but goes on to do a lot more than just removal of trade barriers on trading goods. It covers also liberalization of trade in services. Services are things like tourism, energy, communication, banking, insurance. It also deals with the promotion or facilitation of investment. It also deals with the competition policy that's dealing with the big companies which may wish to abuse their dominant positions. Yes. It also deals with intellectual property, right? It also deals with digitalization. You know, we now live in the fourth industrial revolution where digitalization is really important. And it also deals with women and youth in trade. That means we want to be inclusive. We don't want to leave women and youth who are actually the majority of the population behind and dispute settlement.
Okay, so what role do local administrations play in the successful implementation of AFCFTA?
Yes, now that's a very important question. Now, the population of Africa is supposed to be 1.47 billion people. We are really a major player in the global dynamics. But if you come to a country like Zimbabwe or any other typical African country, more than 60% of the people live in rural areas. So now, when you start talking about the importance of the AFCFTA in terms of the population size, you are thereby showing that actually local administrations have an important role. If you say the AFCFTA is important because we are a bigger population together, then you are thereby saying that the local administrations actually have an important role to play. So, yes. So because the we continue. All right. Yes. So local administrations have an important role because most of our people live in rural areas. If you talk about the AFCFTA being important because Africa has got more than 60% of the world's unutilized land. Where is this unutilized agricultural land? It's in the rural areas, right? If you are talking about poverty eradication, you have to go where poverty is, and it tends to be in the rural areas. Yes. So local administrations are very important because they operate at the grassroots level, where the people are, where the problems are that we need to address. And they are organized because you see they have got an association. You see at an event like this, you can bring all of them together, and then they can help to deal with issues in a holistic manner. And of course now in the case of Zimbabwe, it's actually now a constitutional requirement under the devolution program for local administrations to play a significant role. Right. Say that again. Yes, it doesn't mean those are ignored because we can talk about the rural areas in terms of local administrations. Yes, but we are not leaving out the municipal authorities as well. Yes, it doesn't. I'm only emphasizing this issue of rural areas because we talk little about them. Yes, when you hear people talking about international trade, about business, they tend to focus on urban areas and big companies. So that's why we need to bring into the equation or the narrative local administrations as well. But it doesn't mean we are forgetting about the urban areas and the municipal authorities. We are already talking a lot about them every day. Yes. Yes, exactly. So now when you involve the local administrations, then you begin to have an impact on the ground in terms of reducing, or better still, eliminating poverty, right? Promoting economic empowerment of youth and women and SMEs. Because actually the bulk of the economy is made up of SMEs, yes. You tap into the comparative advantage of the country. Like if you have minerals, they tend to be in the rural areas. Minerals are not on the streets in Harare. You see, they are in the rural areas. And thereby you promote competitiveness. So you really need to involve local administrations in order to deal with these public policy challenges, especially of poverty eradication and empowerment of people. Yes. Right. Yes. So now some of the possible interventions that we can look at include organizing events like this one we have here for awareness creation. Yes. Now, the awareness creation can be in terms of can be directed towards the local administrations themselves, the officials, or the local administration can organize events like this to create awareness among stakeholders, among SMEs, among youth, among women, among farmers. Secondly, they can put in place infrastructure to facilitate trade, such as building warehouses, collection centers, and then making sure that these middle people don't rip off, the suppliers by, putting in a huge and outrageous profit for themselves. They should pay a fair price to the suppliers, to the producers. And then innovation and incubation hubs in order to be on the lookout for new ideas, new products. This could be goods, but they could also be cultural products like movies, like plays, drama, which can also be things that can be sold or exported outside Zimbabwe. So it's extremely important actually in terms of innovation to create new products so that you reduce dependence on only a few products. If you are only exporting a few products like tobacco and minerals, it's not a stable economy. You need to diversify by having many products through innovation. Yeah. Right. Right. So now, some of the challenges in the past have included things like lack of industrialization. So we now have industrialization programs, such as private sector engagement strategies. We are focusing on some sectors like agro-business, pharmaceuticals, transportation, automotives, digitalization. So we have got these strategies, and we go out actually to mobilize investors to come into the continent. For instance, at the World Economic Forum in January this year, we mobilized investors who pledged $130 billion to come and invest on the continent. Then we have problems like infrastructure. This include roads, air transport. So we have got programs to address that as well. Challenges such as political will. We now mobilize heads of state and government. We have a champion who helps us to mobilize his colleagues in order to make sure everything is on track. So actually the AFCFTA was negotiated very fast. Implementation is happening. We had the guided trade initiative to demonstrate as a proof of concept that the AFCFTA actually works, which was very successful. And this is possible through political will and political ownership, which we mobilize. So these are some of the things we are doing. Okay. All right. Thanks so much.